A Michigan mom was determined to discover the cause of the strange things happening in her home. It started with her hearing strange noises in the middle of the night, but it just got worse from there. It got so bad that she began to blame her fiance for the strange happenings, even though he denied it. Finally, she had proof. She had video evidence, but she had no idea what she just captured, and the truth would scare her. Before we start, can we get this video to 1,000 likes? Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Heather Bow got ready to watch the video she recorded from the baby monitor in her daughter's room. Despite what other people said, she didn't believe that her daughter was scratching herself in her sleep. She hit play and began to watch, convinced that she would catch her boyfriend, Joshua, in the act. Her hair stood on end when she saw the figure in the video. Joshua had been telling the truth. It was something else. Heather Bow and Joshua Higgins were living in his mother's guest house with their 1-year-old daughter, Lily, for just over a year already. Then something happened that made them want to get as far away from there as fast as they could. It all began when Heather noticed scratches on Lily's face when she lifted her up and out of her crib one day. At first, she didn't think too much of it, but when more marks appeared, she knew something was up. That's when she decided to approach Joshua. The couple were in a happy, stable relationship and lived a normal life for a young couple in the town of Highland. Then she started hearing strange noises at night, creaking doors, thumps, footsteps in the kitchen, and suddenly the unexplained scratches on her daughter's face. That was the final straw. She asked Joshua if he was getting up in the night and moving around the house. She even asked him if he went to Lily's room. Did he know how she got the scratches? Joshua denied everything, and their relationship became strained, intense. It seemed that their fairy tale life was in danger of becoming a nightmare. Heather decided to try and catch Joshua in the act. What she discovered, however, would be much worse than she ever imagined. Heather knew that she needed to do something. The problem with that idea was that Heather always made sure everything was closed up properly. That meant that whoever or whatever it was that scratched Lily must have already been in the house. Heather knew that her relationship was in danger. She and Joshua decided to buy a baby monitor and set it up so that they could watch Lily at night. They set up the camera so that it was focused on the crib. Joshua was sure that it was Lily, as it wasn't uncommon for babies to scratch themselves with their nails while they slept. Heather knew this couldn't be the case because she made sure to keep Lily's nails properly trimmed. Neither of them were prepared for the truth. Heather bought a state-of-the-art camera with night vision capabilities so she could monitor Lily while she slept. She was determined to get to the bottom of this and find the truth. She set the camera to record and went to sleep. Sure enough, the next morning, there were more scratches on Lily's face. Heather immediately went to watch the footage, knowing she would be able to see the culprit on the video. She hit play and watched her own home become a place of nightmares. Heather saw the figure appearing in Lily's room. She was convinced that it was proof that it was Joshua who was walking around at night. But why would he keep lying about it? Could he even sleepwalking? Then Heather's blood turned ice cold. As she kept watching, Heather saw the blurry image of the man walk past the crib in the video. Lily immediately looked at him and stood up against the side of her crib. Lily's curious about the man in the room. At that moment, the man turned to face the camera, and Heather feels herself turn cold. The man in the footage isn't Joshua. Heather couldn't breathe. Her hair stood on end and her heart was pounding as she kept watching. The man in the video was a complete stranger to her. What was he doing in the house? She watched as he kept walking around the crib examining Lily. Heather began to panic. What could this man be? It was clear that this man was the source of the strange noises she heard at night. Heather kept watching the clip over and over until she saw something terrifying. There was a point in the middle where the man becomes transparent. Heather realized that she wasn't looking at a man, but something supernatural. Heather knew immediately that they had to get away from the house as fast as they can. When Joshua watched the footage, he was just as shocked. It was chilling. It was literally a chill down your spine like that. What a factor. "Is this what I just saw?" he said. Seeing Lily's face with her scratches was so bizarre and frightening. Heather explained, "I was crying." "What happened to you?" "I grabbed her jacket and ran over to my mother-in-law's house. Nobody knew what happened. We wonder if she'd scratched herself." but when we put our hands up to the scratches, it didn't match up. Joshua was terrified after watching the video with chills running up and down his spine. He knew that he needed to save his family from whatever that was getting away from there was the most important thing. As the terrified family fled the house, Joshua called the police. After he had explained the situation, the police referred him to the Scientific Paranormal Investigations of Michigan. What they would find, however, would be even more terrifying. The coroner of Scientific Paranormal Investigations of Michigan, Mike Priest, sent a team to investigate the house immediately. Their discoveries would ensure that Heather and Joshua were even more desperate to get away from that house. The investigation revealed that not only was the guest house haunted, but the main house was too. The strange man on the footage wasn't the only strange thing that happened in the house. I woke up to get ready for work one morning, and it felt like someone was choking me, Heather admitted during an interview. We're looking forward to checking out this one as well. Mike said that when the team came in, they recorded several strange noises in the house. We heard something say, "Oh, here we go." "Oh yeah, I heard it plain as day," Mike admitted. Mike and his team came back for a full-scale investigation. They hoped that they'd be able to find out what exactly Heather had caught on video. They were going to try and replicate the recording, which would prove it's real or find some logical explanation for what she captured. Chris, Joshua's mother, had owned the house for 11 years and thought she might be able to explain who was responsible for the haunting. "I was told when we bought the houses 11 years ago, the lady who owned the property died in the main house," Chris explained. "It's an old farmhouse, and according to her niece, she fell down the stairs, broke her hips, and laid there for a very long time before she passed away. She said that the guest house was built for the lady's brother, who was schizophrenic." However, Joshua's dad, Jim, offered a different theory. Jim thinks that the mysterious figure is a previous tenant of the guest house. Heather and Joshua knew what they had to do. "It scares us that it could do something else," Heather said. "It's not physically just going after her. It feels like it's going after myself, too. This has made us want to leave as soon as possible." At a later, unspecified time, they reviewed the footage and, due to a lack of understanding of video cameras, concluded the distorted figure was a ghost. But how does it explain the scratches on Lily's face? Aside from the technical issues, it's not uncommon for babies to scratch themselves. We know from her statements that Heather discovered the scratches after waking the baby up from a nap, Kenny wrote.